All right, so the next one we're going to do is sweet tea Italian ice. So there is a guy in here apparently. Is that you? Okay, so you've been hounding us for this sweet tea Italian ice, right? Okay, let me get another bite. Everybody sweet tea fans from the South? You say no?
I hate sweet tea, but
Oh,
I'm here for it.
that's against a Southern's religion. I went to Hawaii and I could not find sweet tea on that island at all, and I about died. First thing I did when I landed back here in the mainland, what they called it, is I went and found me a sweet tea and I chugged it. Chugged it.
Anybody here from the north? Yeah, the Southerners love their sweet tea. That's all they talk about.
Yeah, and I'm a sweet tea snob, just like you're a coffee snob.
I am indeed.
He is. Don't you dare give him Folgers. He'll.
No, this is death wish. If you're going to drink coffee, get real serious about it.
That's very true. So to come up with this formula, I did it two ways. I went and just bought the South's here favorite sweet tea, which is predominantly Publix's unsweet tea, is actually what I did because I'm using sugar. We can't just dump sweet tea into the machine and expect it to freeze because the machine needs something to be able to freeze the product. So we need to add sugar. So that would have been diabetes in a cup if I would have put in sweet tea in there and then add 2 more pounds of sugar.
Sweet tea is, right?
Yes. Yeah, well, this would have been extra diabetes in a cup.
And I've got the pumpkin.
So when I did it that way, I got unsweet tea and I did 2 pounds of sugar, and then I brewed really strong tea at home with a tea maker, and then I added sugar to that. And I did a blind taste test for, the office to see which one they preferred, which one they liked better, and everybody voted for this one. The other one was really great. It had a tea flavor, and they wouldn't have known any different until they took a bite of this one, and they're like, oh wow, that's a tea. I am eating a tea Italian ice, a sweet tea Italian ice. So that's all this is just really strong brewed tea. Use your favorite brand. I know every state or wherever you're at everybody has their own favorite. Oklahoma was Chicken Express, had really good sweet tea. Anybody hear of Chicken Express? No? All right. There was a little, you have? Yeah, it's good sweet tea there. They have the good ice too.
Texas, they're all over.
Yeah, they have the good ice too. Bojangles, they have good sweet tea. I've never had their sweet tea. I'll have to try that out. It's kind of like KFC and their coleslaw. It's the best. So we're just going to measure out 2 pounds of sugar. I figured, but we just want to make sure. Okay, so when you're making any Italian ices, you don't always have to use water with your products. It can be just straight brewed tea. It can be just a straight juice. I have made many Italian ices with just juices. Pineapple juices work great, mango juices, any of those Welch's milk mixed drinks or juices that you see on the shelf, those work just fine. Pineapple juice, I think I just said that. Pineapple juice and cranberry juice mixed together, amazing. It kind of makes like this really like pinky orange color. It's got that sweet and tart taste to it as well. Usually when you work with water on Italian ices, at least with my formulas, is when you're working with like an alcohol, because there's only so much alcohol and juice you can add. And then it's going to be a very soft product. Working with wines, so you would do an equal part of wine to equal parts of water. So if you're using 1 bottle of wine, fill that same bottle of wine up with water, and that makes and pairs for a really good flavor too. So when you mix your sugars with your Italian ices, you can pour it into the machine if you want. We recommend not to. You're not going to hurt the machine. It's not going to do anything to it. It just sticks to the throat of the machine, kind of makes like a mess. And then over time, your Italian ice users versus your ice cream users, or makers, I should say, their blades tend to wear out a little bit faster than your ice cream makers because the sugar acts like sandpaper. So it's just going to wear down your blades. So instead of replacing them every 5 years, you're going to have to replace them probably every 3 if you're just pouring straight sugar in there. We don't have to fully dissolve the sugar. We just got to get it wet.
Sugar dissolves
Oh.
surprisingly easy, so if we just stir this for 30 seconds, it's going to be good.
Pass.
When we pour it into the machine, there might be a little stream of sugar. Don't worry about it. Forget it. It's a little stream compared to 2 pounds of sugar. It won't make any difference.
No. This is as simple as it gets, just tea and sugar. Anybody have questions while you watch me be a pro at stirring sugar? No?
I'm going to pass around the part that spins around in the machine. Other companies call it a beater, and it spins and scrapes the ice cream or ices off the walls. We call it the old-fashioned term, dashing. And they're all the same in our machines, just progressively larger. I'm going to pass this around. This is for the machine that we're running right now. The reason over 90% of all Italian ice in the world is made on Emery Thompson is, unlike ice cream, it's the consistency of wet cement when it's ready to come out of the machine. So you literally need a cement mixer, and that's what this is. So I'll just pass that around. When Christy talks about the blades, that's these big bulky things, and where others you have to change them every 90 days, ours go 5 years.
And thousands of dollars too at that.
Yeah, they charge as much as us.
Yeah. What was your question?
So after you made the ice cream in this machine, was there like some sort of cleaning cycle that you did?
Nope.
To get it
So
all out of there?
nope. So we're just gonna leave it like that. Well, normally, kind of what I do. This is just from my own thing. You all will develop your own thing of what you do and what works best for you. I just leave it open and just let whatever is in there just kind of drip out into like my universal pan or catch-all bucket, I guess is what you call it. And you'll see me use the same one off and on to the side. Right before we go to make our next flavor of product in this machine, I'll just flush it with plain tap water, just rinse whatever is in here out, so that way I can start my next one. You don't have to do that if you're starting with one flavor that works and pairs well, and you start with a light and go down to dark. So you start with vanilla, then strawberry, then chocolate. Or if you're doing a coffee, you want to do a coffee last, because coffee is very strong and it lingers and it kind of attaches to things in there. If you're working with inclusions like chocolate chips or whatever, you want to kind of save those for the end because of those inclusions. If you're making a chocolate chip peanut butter and you're using real peanut butter, it's kind of sticky and yuck. And then you want to go to just a chocolate. Well, that peanut butter is going to linger to your chocolate. So start with your chocolate, then go to your peanut butter, because if the chocolate goes on the peanut butter, you're not even going to taste it. You don't, like Steve said before, you don't have to open it or anything like that. You could just let it sit until you're ready to. I think the health department says if it sits for X amount of time, you'll have to re-sanitize it. You open this door, you're going to have to re-sanitize it as well, too, no matter what you do. If you're working with nuts, peanuts of any kind, pistachios, almonds, whichever. Anybody have a nut allergy, by the way, in here?
We have a kid one, so that's why I'm asking.
That's why we
those
asked.
questions.
Okay. So if you do work with any nuts of any kind, save that for your very, 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 very last flavor of the day, because you don't want cross-contamination. My daughter is allergic to walnuts, and cross-contamination is a thing. We've been to theme parks and they say, oh no, there's nothing in here. And next thing you know, she eats it and her mouth is swollen a little bit because cross-contamination, it is a thing. So be sure you strip it down completely before you even want to make your next flavor or whatever, or just save it at the end of the day and re-sanitize. I have also heard of people that don't do peanut products. That's your own personal choice. And then for toppings, if you choose to offer that, they have them in their own individual cups, the peanuts or whatever, off to the side that can't touch anything else, because that is a serious allergy.
Also, if you're a savvy owner of a store, you let somebody else make the peanut butter. You're making it last, but you let them make the peanut butter, because it is so sticky and gets into every single crevice. We can wash this machine out in about 4 minutes and be done for the day. Mm-hmm. But that peanut butter, no, you hire someone else to come in and do it. What a mess, because it's just so sticky. But peanut butter and jam, Italian ice is a fantastic flavor.
I haven't tried that one.
Oh, I made that long ago.
Oh.
That's a good one.
This is why I do the flavors now.
Made with Taurus.
Yeah, this is why I do flavors now, guys. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pour this into the machine. So Steve always says you'll see us walk around, make sure our gates are closed. Mine is open, so I have to make a mental note to myself. We've all done it. It's going to happen to you. You're going to do it too. You're going to have this open. You're going to pour your product in, and it's going to come right back down on the floor. Guilty. You got
And
your
we get a
turn.
phone call, and the customer says the machine leaks.
Yeah.
And we ask a couple of questions. And they go, is the gate open? Yeah. Okay. Well, that's why there's 5 gallons of sugar water on your floor. So, what's obvious is maybe not too obvious.
So people always question and ask, well, why don't you make your throats bigger so I could pour it in? Well, we don't need to. It's kind of you learning to adapt in how to do it yourself. So when you go to pour anything into a machine, you don't want to rest it onto here because it starts with a wide stream of a pour. The higher you hold your container, the thinner of your stream is going to be. So you'll see here where I'm pouring it in.
It's still all the way this large. So we're the only, and other companies have a large opening, but it comes down to less than ½ an inch. So you cannot put an Oreo cookie in the machine. They don't want you to. Their dasher that we're passing around isn't strong enough. These things are so strong. I'm here throwing whole bags of Oreo cookies, peeling bananas, dropping them in, anything. Walnuts.
Yeah, they have the whole huge wide throat, looks really cool, and you go look in it and it's like about this little big when it gets down to the actual machine, and nothing can go in. They have grates there to where you can't. That's the beauty of Emery Thompson's is we cut out that middleman. You don't need a paste or a gel or a flavoring company to supply you with all this stuff. Everything that you can make, you can get at a grocery store, a gas station even. During the pandemic was one of our biggest booms. Everybody that was buying their ice cream wholesale started to switch because they couldn't get their flavors. They couldn't get their products. Their customers were disappointed. They had walk-up windows. People were going nuts. Well, it doesn't matter where you were or what's going on in the world. You're going to find that package of Oreos, whether it's at Dollar General, a gas station even. Doesn't matter. You're going to find it to make that cookies and cream. So we already know we're making sweet tea Italian ice. It's literally just tea and sugar. So we're going to go here, make ice cream. We're going to more recipes, Italian ice, start. Don't need to taste test it. We turn on the refrigeration and we're good to go. So this is going to take a little bit longer to freeze. Why? 1, it's our very first batch, and 2, we just added 2 pounds of sugar. So the more sugar you add, the longer any product takes to freeze. That's just science. So if we're making plain vanilla, it can take you 8 to 9 minutes, depending on your alcohol content in the vanilla. So it's single fold, 2-fold, how much vanilla you put in there. But as Steve says, it's getting into the weeds. Just add your vanilla and be done with it. Once you start adding inclusions, that is sugar. That's mini chocolate chips. That is your candies. That is your apple pies. That's your brownies. As soon as you start adding sugar, it's going to increase your freeze times. We're not talking 10 minutes, maybe 30 seconds, a minute, 2, 3, 4 minutes, just depending on how much sugar you add. An example, the one with the bourbon pecan, that's probably going to take a good hefty hot minute to freeze, but it's going to freeze, it's going to be a top seller, and it's going to make you a lot of money because it's got alcohol and it's a fancy product. Any questions on that? You guys are a quiet crowd.
They'll wake up.
Yeah.
One little thing about the infinite overrun control, because you see Christy going over and you sort of go, push this, push this, push this. You go, oh my gosh, how am I going to remember all that? It's made in America. Our whole machine's made in America. It has real words. It says hard ice cream, Italian ice, start, stop. I just bought a new printer, and it was made in China, and it's all symbols. And it's great if you know what the symbols mean. You know, I've learned that the triangle means you're in big trouble. It's lit up. But everything else is in symbols, and you have no instruction manual. You got to go onto a website and watch some guy explain to you what the symbols mean, just so you can turn the damn thing on. We have it nice and big. Right now, it says Italian ice. It tells you how long it's been running, and wow, what a shock! It even says the blades are spinning, just in case you didn't know. But it's all very straightforward and very simple. Yes, sir.
So Steve, it comes with one dasher when you order in the machine?
Well, I think you're thinking blades.
The blades.
Yeah, one set of blades is going to last 5 years. We don't want to sell you a second set because you're going to lose them in 5 years. I mean, I can't find anything I put away 5 years ago.
Ever drop them or?
No, well, it isn't going to hurt it if you drop them. But any part that is in my machines, we can have to you overnight tomorrow morning. We had a hurricane here Monday. We were shipping during the hurricane. Now, granted, it got to FedEx and got delayed by a day, but it left this building. So if you need something for a 25-year-old machine, you can have it by 10:30 tomorrow morning. Other companies can't say that. But that's the way I've always run the business, is we have everything available for you. We don't want your machine ever to be down.
So I'm going to turn off the refrigeration, and we have sweet tea
Look at
Italian
that.
ice.
See that nice consistency?
We let it go a little too long from yakking.
But not bad.
Nah. But this is fine too, even, so we're just going to give her a good smush.
See, we're trying to get as much product made in an hour as we can. So it doesn't do any advantage to pull it stiffer. It might look prettier to you, but it's not affecting the product. So we would
No.
normally pull that out a little stiffer, get the rest of it out quicker.
So this is going to scoop really nice for you guys.
That's beautiful.
The stabilizer is only for Italian ice, not for ice cream.
Say that again?
The stabilizer is only for Italian ice, not for ice cream.
You can add it in ice cream, but I don't see a necessity for it.
It's already in the dairy blend,
Yeah.
and it's going to be natural, like Wargum or Carrageenan. One's a seaweed, one's a plant. And so I don't have any problems with those. I don't like polysorbate 80. If I see polysorbate 80, no thanks, I'm not buying that.
Yeah.
The Italian ice, I could throw everything Dow Chemical makes into ice cream and you'll never
Switch
taste it.
spots with me.
But sugar and water, you put a stabilizer in there and all of a sudden the product becomes sticky and gummy. Now it's got its place. If you're selling at Yankee Stadium and you need large quantities that have to be ready to serve, or you're doing a festival and you're going to be there for 3 days, yeah, you're probably going to put a stabilizer in. But if it's your store and you're catering to people who are walking through the door and they want all natural, as best you can do, I am not going to put it in there. Cold is my best stabilizer. I leave it
Yeah.
in the freezer. Tomorrow it's going to rain for 3 days, let's say, so I'm not even going to pull this out of the deep freeze. I'm going to leave it there. You wake up in the morning, and when you're in the Italian ice business, you say, what's the weather today? Bless you.
Bless you.
And that will determine what you're going to do.